Hey there, it's Christy with Raising Brave Readers. Maybe I'm catching you today between sports and errands. Well, today we're going to tackle irregular words. And trust me, as both a mom of boys and an educator, I've seen what works and what leaves our kids frustrated. You know those moments when your child encounters a word or takes home a list and they have to learn the word what and they freeze and you freeze. I've been there, both as a mom, as a teacher. But here's what I've learned in my classroom and at my kitchen table. There is a 3-step way that we can do it. We can break this down into natural, manageable pieces. So the word what has 3 sounds. W, t. So we're going back to the sounds. Remember, we listen first, then we speak, and then we're using that speech to learn how to read. So we're going to take whatever word you need to learn, whatever irregular word it is, and we're going to break it into the parts, the sounds that it is. It's called segmenting. So the word what would be 3 sounds. W, t. So this is what we're going to do. We are going to start with sound mapping. So we're going to listen to it. We're going to model it. We're going to break it apart, just like I did. W, t. We're connecting it with speech because they're already saying these sounds in conversation. And then we're going to put it into real reading practice. We are going to write notes to each other. We're going to read notes from each other. We're going to find the word in real books. We're going to read it in real stories and real learning because we are learning how to store and retrieve sound by sound that word for reading and writing. So I want you to remember that you are your child's first teacher. Yeah, you. And I know that you are equipped with everything you need. You have your own voice, you believe in your child, and you can we can gather the patience together to do this word because we're going to do it short and sweet and quickly. So here is our demo. It's going to be super practical, super easy. You only need 3 Post-it notes, or you can use sound boxes. These are called Elkonin sound boxes. And maybe you're saying, wait, Christy, you said you were going to teach me the word what? But your word here says when. So I will explain as we go why we're going to get 2 words for one because I want to make it simpler. I'm going to scaffold it up for both you and your child to get to the success of reading the word what, and on the way we get to learn the word when. All right, so with the word when, I have 3 Post-it notes because it has 3 sounds, and I'm going to say with my child, and I'm going to practice saying it apart. W, e, n. And then I'm going to take the time and I'm going to write it while they're watching me. W is spelled with 2 letters. W. And you're going to see that in question words a lot. And then I'm going to do the next sound. When. W, e. E is the next sound. This is how we write it. When. The last sound is n. So when. 3 sounds. W, e, n. When. Then you're going to give your child an opportunity to write it themselves. W, e, n. And you want them to write it several different times. So they might write a note. When is dinner? When is lunch? When do we get to do that? They are always asking when in the classroom, when at home. When. So you're going to have plenty of opportunity to read and write about it. And you can find it in your stories as well. And what I want to show you is these 2, the e and the n, both match what your young reader's brain is expecting. They hear the S sound, they think it's going to be spelled with this E. They hear the N sound, they think it's going to be spelled with the N. They hear the W sound, this sound they expect. They're just not sure about this, a 2-letter spelling, the W and the H. But I only have one new concept coming here. So let's say you teach this on a Friday, and about 2 days later, you've been practicing the word when, you've been segmenting it out, you've been reading it, you've been writing it. Now we're going to introduce the word what. Because if you notice, w, t. This t sound matches what you expect. This is now a little familiar. It's not the first time they've seen it. Because you've already practiced it for a couple different days. And we are only going to teach, this is really the only new concept. And this sound, they're going to see in a lot of words, like at the beginning of words that start with an A. again, among, ago, and against, another. And so we have taught this woo, we've introduced it, they've practiced it in the context of when, which is super important to kids. They love to know schedule, but now we're teaching it in the context of what. And so this one is kind of known, it's at least a little familiar, and you're gonna say what, break it apart. Woo, t. 3 boxes. So again, you're gonna have your 3 boxes. You're not gonna show both words together. I'm gonna move this one over. I'm gonna bring this one up. Woo, t. You might even want them to write it in their own, on their own Post-it notes or in their own sound boxes. So let's do what? Woo, t. And now let's write it together. Woo, t. And then now you might be starting to do notes together, like what do you want to eat? What is your favorite color? What food do you like? And you can draw pictures if they don't know all the words, or you can just read it to them, but you can use this what all over the place in your writing and in your reading. What is next? What is your name? What is blue? What is, and just on and on and on. But I wanted to show you, this is how you do it. And then you're going to just be practicing back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because you're teaching your child's brain to store that information. What is a three sound word? This is how we spell it, and retrieve that information so that whether they are reading it or writing it, it's getting into long-term memory. So I want you to think, this week, just try one word, or in this case, try 2 words, because we went from that important when word that only had 1 new concept to what, where we're using this one as a familiar concept, and this is the only new concept. And go ahead and try it, map it out, go sound by sound, play with it, read it together, find it in your stories, and know that you can do this, your child can do this, and I am with you here on the journey if you want. I'm right here. If you want to drop a word that you would love me to break apart, go ahead and do that in the comments, and I'll set you up with a video all of your own on how to break apart a word. Have a great day.